The Frozen Heart, a Wendigo tale. In the depths of the harsh Canadian winter, where the wind howls like 1,000 lost souls, and the snow blankets the earth in endless white, there lived a trapper named Gene. He was known throughout the region for his skills and endurance, often ventured further into the wilderness than any other. As autumn gave way to winter, Gene set out on what was to be his last expedition of the season. The other trappers warned him of the dangers. Food was scarce, and the winter promised to be particularly brutal. But Gene was confident in his abilities and dismissed their concerns with a wave of his hand. For weeks, Gene trekked through the frozen landscape, checking his traps and collecting furs. But as the days grew shorter and the nights grew colder, he found himself pushing deeper into uncharted territory, driven by an inexplicable urge to keep moving. It was then that the blizzard hit. The world became a swirling melee storm of white, obscuring all landmarks and sense of direction. Gene stumbled blindly, his supplies dwindling, his strength fading. As hunger growled at his belly and frostbit at his fingers, he began to hear whispers of the wind, promises of warmth, of feast, of power. Days passed, or perhaps it was weeks. Time lost all meaning in the endless white. Gene's rational mind began to slip away, replacing by a primal, all-consuming hunger. He found himself gnawing on leather, on tree bark, anything to quell the ache in his stomach. It was then that he saw it, a figure in the distance, barely visible through the driving snow. Hope surged through Gene's frozen veins as he stumbled toward the silhouette. But as he grew closer, that hope turned to icy dread. The figure was tall, impossibly so, with antlers jolting from its skeleton head. Its skin was pulled tight over its bone, a slick grayish-green hue that spoke of decay and death. But it was the eyes that truly terrified Gene. Glowing orbs filled with an insatiable hunger that mirrored his own. The Wendigo. Gene tried to run, but his weakened legs betrayed him. He fell face first into the snow, and as he struggled to raise, he felt the creature's icy breath on the back of his neck. Its voice, when it spoke, was like the crackling of glaciers and the moans of damned. Hunger, it whispered. Always hunger. Gene felt something cold and ancient steep into his body, into his very soul. The hunger intensified, becoming an all-consuming fire that burned away the vast majesty of his humanity. He saw visions of flesh, the feast of an endless winter where he would reign as a creature of ice and appetite. When the spring thaw finally came, other trappers ventured into the wilderness, searching for signs of Gene. They found his cabin, abandoned and cold. Inside they discovered journal entries that grew increasingly erratic and disturbing, speaking of an unnatural hunger and a tall figure that haunted the woods. But of Gene himself, they found no trace, only strange, elongated footprints in the melting snow leading deeper into the forest. And on quiet nights, when the wind blowed just right, they say you can still hear his voice in the air, whispering of hunger and endless winter. The old-timers warn the young trappers now, beware the Wendigo. For once it takes hold, the hunger never truly leaves. It waits patiently as the winter itself, ready to consume the unwary and turn them into monsters that stalk the frozen wastes, forever seeking to satisfy an appetite that can never be. And so the legend of the Wendigo lives on, a cautionary tale of the dangers of greed, isolation, and the terrible things that hunger can drive a person to do. In the dark of winter, when the wind howls and the snow falls thick, the people of the north huddle close to their fires and pray that the Wendigo's insatiable hunger doesn't lead to their front door. Thanks for listening to the Wendigo Tale. If you would, drop a like and a follow to support the channel.